Hi, Miss Santine here, and I'm going to go over Grade 2, Module 1, Lesson 7. Today's goal is to take from the 10 to subtract within 20. Now, for some of you, this will be a review because we have been learning this strategy for the past couple lessons. Watch how I solve without a drawing. Here we have the equation 12 minus 9. So the first step that we're going to follow is to decompose the greater number, which is the 12. By decompose, we mean that we're going to create a number bond, or we're going to break it apart into tens and ones. We have 110, which we're going to place on the right because visually we can see that we can subtract 10 minus 9. And then we have the 2 left over on our other part. This next step is to then subtract 10 minus 9, which most of us can do mentally. But I do want you to write the steps down until you are able to do it fluently. Now I know most of you know 10 minus 9 equals 1. We've been practicing this number fact for a few lessons. Now the last step is to take the 1 that's left over here, bring it down, and to add it with the other number part, which is this 2. And again, we can do these problems mentally. 1 plus 2 equals 3. So 12 minus 9 equals 3. Great job. This is taking a 10 and subtracting within 20. Now I'm going to show you another way to subtract within 20. This is going to be a mental math trick. For this, you can use your fingers. So here we have, once again, the number 12. Now, you have 10 fingers. So what you want to do is keep the 2 in mind. The 2 is still there. So what you want to do is simply subtract 10, your 10 fingers, minus 8. Take away 8 fingers. Right, so notice you have 2 fingers up. And you notice that you also had that other 2 in mind. Therefore, 12 minus 8 equals 4. So this is one way for you to do equations a lot faster, mentally, fluently. And that is the goal. Let's try another one using the mental math strategy. Again, here we have the equation 11 minus 5. Now remember, you have 10 fingers, but keep the 1 in mind. That number is still there. Notice here, it is still there. So what you want to do is take away 5 from the 10 fingers, right? Notice you have those 5 fingers plus the 1 over here, which means that our answer is 6. Great job. Now for the next one, I do want you to use your whiteboards and to show the 3 steps, which is to use the number bond or to decompose and break down into tens and ones, then to subtract, and then to add with the numbers that are left over. All right, here we have 13 minus 6. So the first step is to decompose the 13. Going to do this here. Right, so when we decompose, you want to put the 10 on the right side because that's going to be easier to see the next step, which is to subtract 10 minus 6. What is 10 minus 6? We can use our fingers, put 10 fingers up, take away 6. That's right, you have 4 fingers left. So then the last step would be to take this 4, bring it down, and add it with the other number part, the 3. And 4 plus 3 equals 7. 13 minus 6 equals 7. So now you have a few options. You can try to use the mental math option, which is using your fingers but keeping the ones in your mind, the ones in place, and still taking away the 10 minus 6 first, and then adding that number that's left over, the 4, plus what's in the ones place, 3, which equals 7. Let's solve one more. Here we have 11 minus 7. Solve this one on your board. using a number bond. And think about the pretend fingers if needed. Right, so if you were able to solve by breaking down 11 into tens and ones, which means you have 110 and 1, that is great. We would then subtract 10 minus 7, which equals 3, and then add this one here, which equals 4. 11 minus 7 equals 4. Now it's your turn to practice the application problem. Let's make sure we're following the RDW, which means you're going to read carefully, draw a model, which is the take 10 to subtract within 20 model, and to write a statement and a word sentence. You can pause the video to work the application problem independently. Let's review to see if you worked it out correctly. Here it says, Ricardo gave 5 tacos to his sister. He started with 13. How many tacos does Ricardo have left? Now remember, we always want to look for clue words, letting us know if we need to add or subtract. And here it does use our clue word left, which typically means to subtract. How many tacos does Ricardo have left? We know we have to subtract because he gave some to his sister. He gave 5 tacos to his sister. Now for this model, we're going to continue with the take 10 strategy. We're going to write down the equation 13 minus 5 because he started with 13 and he gave 5 to his sister. We're going to break down the 13 or decompose into tens and ones. We're going to place the 10 on the right side because that would allow me to visualize 10 minus 5 right away. We're going to write the other number part on the left. So we have 10 and 3. 10 plus 3 equals 13, or 10 and 3 make 13. The next step is to then subtract 10 minus 5, which you could, of course, do mentally, but you could also write it down. 10 minus 5 is 5, and then the last step is to bring down the 5 and add it with the other number part that's right over here. 5 plus 3 equals 8. Therefore, our answer is 8. Don't forget to write a statement. Remember, a statement is a word sentence. It answers the question using a complete sentence. How many tacos does Ricardo have left? Ricardo has 8 tacos left. And now it's time for the problem set. Feel free to work these out on paper, grab your problem set worksheets, and you can use this using, of course, some mental math that we have taught you with your fingers, using the number bonds method, and decomposing that greater number. Make sure to pause the video. Great, let's debrief. Look at problem 1. What patterns do you see? Look at problem 2a. How does knowing your partners of 10 help you solve both 14 minus 8 and 14 plus 8? What do you have to know to be able to use the take from 10 strategy? Can you figure out the math goal of today's lesson? What name would you give this lesson? Remember, you can choose one of these debrief questions, write it down on your problem set, worksheet, math notebook, maybe even comment on it at the bottom of this video and show it to your teacher. Great job. Until next time.